Alright, hold on, let's get this straight. Y'all are wildin'. Every other video on my channel has an Alzheimer's patient commenting about how much I spam on my accomplishments, so you might be wondering, what's new? Nothing, but at least it's topical now. Alright, so a TN made a video on his channel called The Problem with Spamming in Clone Hero, and while the video itself covers the topic pretty well, it doesn't actually cover the topic pretty well. Now, before the angry mob calls their local politician to get my channel removed, I have nothing against a TN. In fact, I'm a patron of his and give him money every month. I like his videos quite a lot. The thing is, the way that he sets up and explains what spamming is throws a lot of shade towards the wrong people, myself included. So, for those who missed that, here's the lowdown on what spamming is.
You will see this from here.
Alright, so now you know. So my question, do you blame this execrable human touching said buttons for this atrocity, or the developer who designed their game's engine to allow it? The correct answer is neither. Y'all are taking a plastic guitar game way too seriously. But let's say you want to blame the player. Don't you think it's a waste of time for a player to go out of their way to give themselves a harder time on specific sections just to make an FC look better to the local elementary school dropouts? The correct answer to that is yes. Why should I, as a player, spend a ludicrous amount of time learning a proper method for a section when it's both more consistent to spam and not the hardest part of a chart 90% of the time? Now, this is a clarification that needs to be made here. However, there is a huge difference between this and this. Wait, shit, I mean this. That being frequency. Using spamming in moderation to tackle unimportant sections of a song should not be viewed in the same light as an all-quints FC of Limit X Reaper's Hell, alright? Now, this is of course referring to myself and others in the community. For some reason, people seem to think that because a single section out of the entire chart is spammed, it somehow makes the achievement worse. An example I can use here is Marathon by Schmutz. Why in the fuck did the rock band outcasts of the community expect anything other than Quint Ziggs and Infinity Solo J-Throw? It's 15 minutes into a stressful run. You're a moron if you expected anything different. But you might say, but Frost, doesn't that make the achievement less impressive? And to that I say, yes, of course it does, but it's my channel, why do you care? If you have a problem with my FC of Salami Strikes Back because I pressed a couple extra buttons into 2 of the non-important sections of the run, like I said, y'all are wildin'. And on the other side of the coin, if you want to blame the developers for allowing spamming to even work on their engine, let me ask you this. Is the average player who gets a guitar from their local Goodwill even going to attempt to spam anything? No, of course not. They're gonna try to pass Sweet Child of Mine, and once they finally get it, they'll get 300 upvotes on the CH subreddit. If the game's engine was designed differently to disallow spamming and encourage accuracy, bad players would have a much harder time getting into the game. And that's Clone Hero's best strength right now. It has a very low skill entry level, and changing that by making the game enforce accuracy as a base setting would discourage 99% of the people who play this game from improving their skills or even continuing to play in the first place. Now, this isn't to say a separate mode where the game enforces accuracy would be a bad thing, however. It just can't be the default setting. In that situation, spamming would then be impossible on achievements that make use of a tighter engine mode, and the ability to complain about that in general would be gone. But the new problem will arise because of that. Players in this community would get shit for not doing their accomplishment on the harder difficulty, and don't even pretend for a second that people are too good for that in this community, or this community is mature, because the only person you're fooling with that is yourself. This place is toxic, yo. How about, instead of enforcing said toxicity further by talking shit to people who play in a specific way, we work together as a community to build people up instead of tearing them down. If they're the type of player to spam entire songs, sure, that means their accomplishment doesn't hold up to the same caliber as a non-spam FC of the song, and I think they know that. That doesn't give you the right to talk shit about them simply because their accomplishment isn't done to your standards. At the very most, encouraging them to learn methods should be the furthest that conversation goes, because at the end of the day, you are the person who chose to watch said video.
You could've just walked away!
And instead of commenting every time myself, Darkly Sinister, Borealis, or anyone else spams for that matter on 1% of their runs, you get a hobby that doesn't involve being a plastic guitar critic. Now, I understand that's probably hard for the keyboard warriors in my audience, but that's to be expected. Just realize, stupid sections deserve stupid methods. Have a day.
Yeah, I don't know either. Subscribe.